Welcome to Real Messy Moms, a funny and honest mom podcast about motherhood, parenting, and real mom life.
We're two moms sharing the chaos, the laughs, and all the real talk about raising kids, parenting struggles, and the ups and downs of modern motherhood.
So grab your coffee and join us for some real mom talk.
Cheers.
And your aggressive milk chug.
Yeah, this is my favorite cup in my whole house. I don't drink milk, but I like to drink my electrolytes in this. So much so, I drove with an open bottle that doesn't fit in my cup holder.
That can't be safe.
I mean, it was only 5 minutes,
That's fair.
but anyways, gotta get my liquids in.
Ew. Gotta get your milk in.
Would Tim drink that whole thing of milk?
Tim would absolutely drink that whole thing of milk in the midst of, I would say 3 to 4 hours.
It's a lot of
It's a
milk.
lot of, isn't that 2 liters? 1 liter. 2 liters.
946 mils,
So just under a liter.
which is
Just under a liter. Mathematician. Okay, so
what are we talking about today?
very exciting. I've been wanting to talk about it for a long time, but it's also very fitting right now.
It's relevant for you.
Relevant for me. We're going to talk about potty training.
Yay.
And let's start with a little bit of a potty moment from yourself this morning.
Yeah.
Also very timely conversation.
Yeah, this morning. I texted you this morning and I was like, we're going to open with this in our
Yep.
podcast. I started back at CrossFit, trying to get back into the swing of things. I did
Mhm.
CrossFit before. It's like my exercise of choice. It's been going well. I started at a new gym, which is always pretty
Mhm.
intimidating to because they do a lot of partner workouts and you can't just go and put your headphones on and ignore everyone, and it's a bit interactive. I really like CrossFit. It's
Yeah.
fun. I did it with both of my maternity leaves,
Mhm.
baby and mom CrossFit, which is a very scaled, easy version. You're not tossing barbells around with your baby on the floor. So this is the first time I've done a workout class by myself, no
Mhm.
children in a while. So
And you
this,
still love it, which is great.
yeah, I realized that I'm still pretty rusty. I did a couple one-on-one personal training sessions, which I really recommend.
Mhm.
Shout out to Groundworks CrossFit in
Oh,
Newmarket.
all right.
They've been really great. Anyways, this does tie into potty training. But in a different way is that my pelvic floor is super weak. So with CrossFit, they do a lot of different types of exercise. One of them is skipping. I used to be
Mhm.
really good at skipping. I would jump around before kids, no tomorrow.
Right.
After my first baby, fine. But I never went back to aggressive exercising because shortly after I got pregnant again
Yeah.
with my second. So I picked up the skipping rope, like riding a bike, skipping. And I peed myself. And that's when I got in my car and I booked an appointment for pelvic floor therapy because I was like, shit, that sucks. But it was funny. So this happened one time a couple weeks ago, and I was like, huh, that's weird. And then the second time today, so the coach comes over to me mid-workout today, and you were supposed to do 5 rounds of 125 skips.
Okay.
So we're talking I don't know, 600 skips. So I'm trying to skip. I'm on round 2, and she's like, you need to be more aggressive. And I was like, I'm just trying not to pee myself. And so she was great. She modified the skipping to
Great.
a different type of jump instead of skipping, and it definitely helped, but the damage was already done.
And then you're working out in wet pants.
Yeah, it's
Bless
gross.
you.
I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it was
Enough.
enough to be like, damn, girl, you got to do some pelvic floor therapy. Anyways, I share this because potty accidents happen
We
and
do
all.
have some extra pull-ups here if you'd like to wear
I honestly,
extras.
maybe I should wear that. I don't know. I actually am going to the pelvic floor therapist next week. Stay tuned on my journey to be back to potty trained.
You could also do a panty liner or something in the interim, right? I know it
Mm.
sucks, but then you're just not in wet pants.
Yeah, I guess
Anyways,
so.
to each their own. Maybe
I'll wear my son's training underwear.
yeah, you could do that too.
Those will
With
be
the
cheeky little. Do they come in my size?
I mean, I was
Spider-Man?
gonna say if you're wearing his, they're gonna be a
Spider-Man.
little toy. So, potty training, we just started it in my family. We started it actually last weekend. So we literally cleared our schedule. We had the long weekend. So Friday night, unfortunately, we had my plans we could not get out of, but we still had Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Mhm.
And those days we literally hunkered down.
You didn't
and
leave the house.
We did
That's
not
very
leave the house.
I think that's the first time since we've been friends that I've known you to, not leave the house.
I know. I
That
know
and when
it's
you had
really
hand, foot, and mouth.
yeah, that's a whole
Mhm.
other thing. But, yeah, so we just started and we were like, "Okay, Carter's, he just turned 2, like, let's get to it." Because for us, when Carter was just about 1, I think he had turned or just before, he was already, like, using the potty, doing both things, and we were, like, really, really close to him being potty trained by 1. And then my husband went away for the weekend. He had, like, a golf trip. And I was like, "I got this." Mind you, we only had a potty, like, seat on top of the toilet upstairs, and, like, it's my first go at it. We didn't have, like, a potty down here. I was making the poor kid tell me so that we'd have to go all the way upstairs, and then, of course, he would have an accident. And I just because I was solo parenting and, like, super overstimulated already, I think I was just too hard on the kid, and he, like, completely regressed
Regress,
from
yeah.
there. So, we had put it off and wanted to, like, reinstate, like, positivity around the potty and going in it and doing things. And also we were just, like you said, extremely busy people. So, we never really had a chance to, like, dig it up again. So we just decided this weekend was it and we started and he's been doing phenomenal. Like, I'm so proud of him. I fully expected to go pick him up on Tuesday at school, his first day out of the house. Obviously Montessori, like, helps them.
Mhm.
They do potty training earlier. Like, I feel like typically people start at the age of 3 in North America, and, Montessori's will try to help you go through it a bit earlier as just, like, part of the way that they learn and I guess their curriculum or whatever. But so I fully expected him, like, to pick him up and him have, like, so many accidents in the day and them tell me, like, he's not ready or something like that.
Mhm.
It's like mentally preparing myself as I drove up to the school, and I walk in and he had absolutely 0 accidents that day, and even that night when he came home, he, like, had such a stellar day. Now, mind you, yesterday was a bit of an off day, and he was, like, very emotional all day. He, like, threw the largest tantrum at night I've ever seen him throw,
Any
so
accidents?
and so he did have an accident at school, and he had 1 accident at home last night, but
That's not bad, though.
still not bad. I think he was just having, like, an off day. Like,
The first accident might have thrown him off, like, he might have
maybe.
been like I've read some, like, psychological studies on it. I'm no doctor, I'm definitely no therapist, definitely not qualified to comment that, but there's a lot of, like, shame associated with
Yeah.
accidents, and, you know, a lot of times I hope that this doesn't happen in daycare, but I think sometimes, especially if, like, they're on their way out and
Mhm,
one kid, like, pees themselves, I would find that
mhm.
frustrating just as, like, an average person that you
Yeah.
never know the context of how that accident happened.
Mhm.
Now, as moms who take their kids to daycare, we have to trust that they have the best interest for our children,
Yeah.
but they're also humans that
Yeah.
don't love our kids like we do, so
Of course. I mean, yeah, I get that. I think for them it's very routine because a lot of the kids in this class are going through it at the same time. So
Mhm.
every 30 minutes they all go to the bathroom. And then if one kid doesn't go at that 30-minute mark, they'll take just that kid back at the 10 minutes and then the next 10 minutes
Yeah,
until they
it's good.
go. And so, I mean, I get it, accidents happen and yeah, it's probably a pain in the ass to have to clean up and deal with and stuff, but you know, that's also part of their job, you know?
So you did the tell us what
Oh,
method you
yeah, we
did.
did the 3-day method. So I was talking to a couple of moms of Carter's school buddies, and they said the 3-day method, like, worked for them, and I was like, "Okay, let's give it a shot," because last time when we tried at 1, I tried naked, and then I tried with underwear, and all within a matter of 2 days, I think, and he was definitely better naked, like, with nothing on. And that's day 1. So 3-day method is day 1, nothing on. Day 2, just training underwear. And then day 3, fully clothed
With underwear.
with underwear. So I noticed this time around when on like day 2 was the roughest. So day 1, he was like, "Yeah, I got this." He was really excited to go. Day 2 is when he started to be like, "Wait a minute, distracted and it's not so exciting anymore. And I don't care if there's a sticker on my board." And so then we had to introduce temporary tattoos and it was a new layer of,
Mhm.
trying to bring excitement to it. Because obviously, like, reward systems were super big and involved in all this. And when we put on the underwear on day 2, we noticed he was like, "Oh, I'm comfortable again. I'm like distracted." So then we actually, halfway through the day after he had an accident, we took them off again. and then finish the day like that. And by day 3, we were able to actually go fully dressed with underwear, and he was like and then he really got it. We
Mhm.
find that day 3 was the day it clicked, day 2 was the hardest, and when I
Mhm.
talked to my girlfriends, they also said day 2 was the hardest for them, so I think it's a common, switch up where maybe the changes happen mentally for them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Miles is potty trained.
Miles is potty trained. Miles is 3,
Mhm.
turned 3 in June. I always thought we, like, screwed him up because he just was different. So we our friends that had kids the same age, they all did the 3-day method,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Great, 3 days." We blocked off some time. I think it was either Thanksgiving or Christmas. It was like a holiday weekend. I was home on maternity leave. We did all the things. We bought like a board and we bought the stickers and we bought the stuff and the pull-ups or not the pull-ups, the training pants, like
Mhm.
all of that. And what I didn't prepare for was the fact that my sensitive little 3-year-old does not like being naked. So
Mm.
he cried for like 5 hours on the first day, hiding himself, like I don't want everyone to see me. And maybe because he communicated better, like I think he was like closer to like approaching 2.5,
Mhm.
that he was more sensitive to that, like
Maybe.
being naked. It also didn't help that my husband, who thinks that my husband is an engineer, and just the way that his brain works is everything that our kids do, he assesses it on like a worst case scenario.
Okay.
So like they're drinking water from the hose, they're gonna get like salmonella from the water. Like they're gonna drown in like 1 ounce of like water if they're left by themselves. This thing. So he always jumps to worst case scenario. So he was like, he's gonna fall on his little man parts and get them chopped off. And I was like, no, we're at home and it's safe. He's like, he'll fall down the stairs and like it'll
Oh
come
my
off or
god.
something. So it didn't help that I was like fighting my
Yeah.
toddler. And then also my husband was like, there's no way in hell people do this. And I was like, yeah, this is actually like whatever. So the first time we tried, epic failure.
Okay.
So then we tried again another time. Nope, didn't work. Then I talked to another girlfriend who had 3 boys,
Mhm.
and she's like, oh, we did this timer method where every 15 minutes you
Mhm.
take them on the potty. I was like, great, mom of 3 boys, she must know how to potty train. What I wasn't prepared for that method is I had a newborn at the time.
Mm.
So I was feeding and then the timer would go off and I would be by myself or whatever. And this was just like way too many things. So
Yeah.
I was like, that's not working for me. And then at the beginning of the year, when we were thinking about really trying to get him potty trained by his 3rd birthday, the advice we were given by our doctor is like, just give it up because he's like, might not be ready. And like, when
Mhm.
he's ready, he'll show signs. So, like, we kind of gave it up for a couple months, fully in diapers, no problem. The daycare was like great. But what really started him being ready and showing those signs
Mhm.
of readiness was he was one of the last kids in his preschool class
Mm.
to not use the potty. So, we then decided that we would try again. He would not do the naked method.
Yeah.
He would not the timer method was like he was also 3, so he didn't need to go every like 15 minutes. And he started getting frustrated. Like, I hate the potty. I don't want to be there. I
Mm.
whatever. So I even went to the fact of buying, and I'm not talking like dollar store toys. I'm talking like I went to Walmart and bought like Batman Lego, like $30. And my total at Walmart was like $270. I wrapped all of these gifts up. And one weekend I said, you know what? This kid, my son is so materialistic with like toys and gifts like that. That's his love language. So I got the potty fairy to write a note to him being like, we're giving up our diapers to our brother. Here's some new underwear. Here's all your presents. Every time you go potty for the whole weekend, you get to open one. This kid did not give a shit. Not a single thing. I don't care about those gifts. I don't want them. So I said, "Ha, you
Wow.
don't know what's behind them. You don't know that like they're not just like bubbles and like
Yeah.
cupcakes or whatever." So I said, "Fine, open one." He opens up Batman Lego. Great. He plays with it. No interest in anything else. And I was like,
Interesting.
"Huh." And then flash forward maybe a couple weeks later, the daycare teachers who we love, who are amazing, they were like, "Hey, what's going on with potty training?" And I was like, "I do not like this kid will be in diapers until he's in university. Like I'm just going to change him until we're done here,
Mhm.
right? Like I am so like overstimulated cuz nothing's working. I'm so stressed out cuz all of my friends like even your story, it's like, "Oh, 3 days and it seemed like relatively
We're
easy.
not out of the woods yet,
No,
but
but it was
yeah.
like I felt like a failure as a mom because I was like, my 3-year-old is still like pooping in his diaper and
Mhm.
all of his friends are going to the potty. So I felt like there was like no light at the end of the tunnel. I would say a lot of our success was around the peer pressure with daycare. So the daycare was like, let's try pull-ups and let's bring in some underwear and like let's work with him to like get interest in the potty.
That's great because a lot of daycares will say they're either potty trained or not, and we're not
Mhm.
gonna help with that transition.
So they're like, send us lots of clothes, whatever.
Mhm.
So he got to the point for a solid month or two. He was potty trained at school. As soon as he got home, he would put on a diaper because we weren't confident in his ability to stay dry for
Mhm.
the drive home. So we would put him in a pull up on the way home and then he would be in a diaper for the whole night. And then as soon as he got to school, he would go potty, put
That's
his underwear on,
crazy.
and then I was like, what is the school doing that's different
Mhm.
than here? And we tried it home and it was like a slow study. So we started like putting the potty out. Like we have
Mhm.
a potty in our playroom and whatever. And sometimes he would go, but sometimes like his diaper was not like
Yeah.
routinely dry. And then I like sat down with him one day because Miles was 3 and he's very like I don't know, intelligent. He talks a lot. He knows his feelings. So I was like, "What is it that's scary to you?" And he's like, "I want to go by myself, but I can't. I don't want to use the big potty." And I was like, "Okay." So we ended up buying like a little step ladder potty seat,
Mhm.
and that changed her. Like that is like one thing that if
Right.
your kid is in the stage that mine was, where he was like scared, because it gave him the independence. The other thing is our house, where our powder room is on the main floor, it's down 2 steps and then
Ah,
down,
yes.
and we had a baby gate there because we had young children. So and that always went down to the basement. So I took the baby gate off, which is a pain because now my little one can, like,
Mm.
fly down the stairs, but he now got the independence to go by himself, which
Okay,
he's in the
great.
"I'm gonna do it by
Mhm.
myself" stage, so that really helped us. And then I don't wanna say it was just an easy transition, it's just, like, that routine.
But that's what made it right for him, right?
He was ready, and
Yeah,
he went from having no accidents to, like, completely potty trained within a week or 2 of just being able to do it himself.
that's great.
It took us a little bit because we didn't do the 3-day method, so there was never a chance to practice going like, outside. I
Yeah.
will say that I think when they're older, they can hold it for a bit
Mhm.
longer. Like, we were driving home from the zoo, like, for reference, that's Toronto to Newmarket, and he's like, "Mommy, I have a poop feeling," and I'm like, "Oh, crap, I'm merging onto the 404 from the 401," and I was like and the baby's sleeping, so I'm like, "Do you think you can hold it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I probably can," and he held it, like, for 40 minutes until we got home.
That's great.
And I was like, we're now at the point where, like, we were in the mall on the weekend, and we were very far away from the washrooms, and he's like, "I have a potty feeling," and we walked to the mall, and I
That's so
wasn't,
cute
like,
that he says
panicked.
that.
Yeah, and, like, very independent now
That's
with
great.
it, and he goes on his own. We kind of have as designated, like, the powder room in our main floor is, like,
Mhm.
his washroom, so, like, we have his stuff there, that's it. So when he comes down in the morning, he, like, puts it on. But I would say if I was to, like, define the method, we peer pressured him by, like
No, I think you did chose the independence method, and, like,
mhm.
he told you when he was ready and how he needed things to be set up for him to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Let's call it the independence method.
The
I think that's great, and I think it also, like, triggers a lot of things where, like, we're so pressured from, like, friends who are like, "My baby was potty trained at 10 months." Like, in
yeah.
Europe, babies don't wear diapers past 10 months, they're all potty trained by then.
Yeah.
It's, like, a huge thing. But, like, I actually do respect that, like, once they get older, they want to do it themselves. They're not
Mhm.
forced to, right? Or, like, pressured to. It's easier because they can tell you when they have like, right now, the struggle with even Carter is, like, he it's kind of like that urgency, like, "Oh, it's coming," right? Like, it's
Mhm.
like and then he runs the
Does he
potty or
say he
whatever.
has to go potty or he just goes there?
He'll both. Yeah, so he'll say it and then he'll go there. But, like, catching it earlier, I think as they get older, they'll realize, like, ahead of time as opposed to, like, right before.
Mhm.
And there's, like, something really valuable to that, obviously, because, if it were to be right now, like, on long drives, I would probably have to, like, diaper him or something like that. Like, we're going downtown, this weekend, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm probably" mind you, we're also gonna plan it over nap time, so it just makes sense to put a diaper on him, 'cause we want him to sleep and want him to, like, not be wetting himself while he's doing
Mhm.
it. But when he's older, maybe he'll be able to hold it for a drive or things like that. And then also you were talking about him telling you he was ready. So how I knew that it was ready to like time to start again with Carter was when someone at his Montessori accidentally put him in a swim diaper during the afternoon. Don't know how they didn't tell the difference, but we won't get into that. Anyways, he had a swim diaper on and he told me, he said, Mama poo poo. And I was like, oh, you pooped? And so I went to go check and realized he was wet because he had a swim diaper on. So as soon as he was wet, he told me he pooed, even though he meant he peed. But that's when I was like, you realize when things are going on. And so I was like, we can start
That's a sign of being ready.
100%.
So the first time we let him come home in underwear from school,
Mhm.
and he peed in his like, he had an accident on the way home. And so he's older now, like, this was when he was, like, just freshly 3. He was like, "Ew, there's pee in my car seat." So he's old enough to acknowledge that he doesn't wanna sit in pee, and so I kind of leaned into that. So when we would go home days after that, I was like, "Hey, buddy, we're not gonna pee in our car seat because that's kind of yucky, right?"
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Yeah, mom, that's yucky." And so, like, a couple times, he's like, "Mommy, I gotta go pee, but I'm not gonna pee my car seat." And I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, that would be kinda gross for everyone involved." So he never, like, I always see these, like, hacks on, like, TikTok of, like now, full disclosure, a lot of people say that they're not safe to put, like, the pee pads in, like, car seats and,
Yeah.
like, that kinda stuff, so I never did any of that
But
'cause
also,
I okay, I will like,
I know
full
a
disclosure, I don't
girlfriend
understand the logic of why it's unsafe.
I know
Car
friends
seat
that have
safety.
done it, and that's
Mhm.
what my girlfriend recommended. She's like, "If you really need to go somewhere while you're doing the 3-day method,
Mhm.
like, just line it with a pee pad, you're going up the street or whatever." Listen, I get it, things can happen. We're also not safety consultants on this
No. I don't
podcast.
know, like, to me, the logic, it shouldn't be a problem, but then people who design these car seats
Yeah.
are like, "Don't do this." There was a lot of times where when we went to the park, we had accidents.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't feel so bad about him learning about accidents when we're outdoors. He was smart enough to know to not pee on the slide. Like, obviously, if he peed on the slide at the park, I would,
Yeah.
like, wipe it up or whatever. But for the first, like, I don't know, 6 weeks of him being potty trained, we took extra clothes to the park
Yeah.
and, like, a plastic
100%.
bag and
Yep.
whatever because
That's now, like, your diaper bag is, like, the accident incident accident bag.
yeah, and,
Yeah.
like, well, I still have one in diapers, but we took the potty a couple times to the park, but because I shared with you, like, my son is, like, very into
Yeah.
privacy. He doesn't even, like, want us in the washroom when he's going, which is fine. Like, if he says, "I want my privacy," I totally respect that,
Yeah.
that he's, like, asking for that, but he didn't wanna, like, sit on the potty in the park, and I was like, "That kinda makes sense. I don't
Yeah,
know if
I
I'd
get
wanna,
it.
like, sit there." So now he's good enough where he'll say, like, "I have a potty feeling, I'm gonna hold it till we get home." It just kind of sucks, like, we're now in a routine, like, before we leave, go
Yeah.
to the potty. One of the things that we're still challenged with is, like, if you're about to go on a long road trip, you, like, force yourself to pee a bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand that
Yeah, of
concept.
course.
So, like, I fight with him all the time where I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna go to the park, we're gonna be out for an hour," like, I packed a picnic, and he'll be like, "But I don't have a potty feeling." And
Mm.
it's, like, hard to be logical in that
Yeah.
sense because 'cause I'm like, "I know you don't have one,
You will.
but if you go sit down and, like, at least try."
Yeah.
And he's like, "But I don't have one, so why would I go?"
Mm.
And I was like,
So logical, this Miles.
he's so logical. Even, like, sorry, off track, but, like, last night, every night we put Dominic to bed, he gets 1 episode of a TV show, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, it's his, like, special treat to wind down from being wild to, like, going to bed. Last night we went out for dinner with our friends, and we were out, like, a bit later, so by the time we got everyone settled also, we went to their house for dinner, Miles would not eat whatever they were
Uh-oh.
cooking, so which is fine, he's so picky right now. So when I got home, I made him a turkey sandwich, fine. He sat there and ate it, but then by the time he had a bath, it was 9 o'clock, which is
Mm.
his bedtime. So I, like, put him into bed, and he was, like, crying, and he's like, "Mommy, what did I do wrong to not get a TV show?" Because that's, like, his, like,
Oh.
prize for surviving the night. And I was like, "You didn't do anything wrong." He's like, "So can I go watch TV?" I was like, "Also no, because you need to go to
Yeah.
bed." And, like, the logic of his brain, like, how it works. I was just like he's like, "But why didn't I get my show tonight? Because
Mhm.
I still had a bath and ate my dinner, and that's, like, his reward for doing those things." And I was like, "But it's 9 o'clock,"
But he
and
also got to, like, have a, like, hangout later
he
than
doesn't see
usual.
that
I know.
because he, like,
I'm
can't tell
trying to,
time.
like, give
No,
you
I fought with him for, like, 30 minutes. He didn't go to bed till 9:30, and I was like, "I should've just let him watch his show and
at
gone to
that
bed at
point, yeah.
9:30." And then there was, like, the dynamic between my husband's, like, more firm and I'm more,
Mm.
like, process, and so he's like, "No, he's going to bed." And then I was like, "But he didn't get a show." Like, I'm kind of on his side, right? But then I'm like, I don't know where
And the show's, like, how long?
30 minutes,
Oh,
28 minutes. I should just let him because even this morning when he woke up and he's like, "We're not gonna stay out late tonight because I need to watch my show." He's very, like, routine
yeah.
driven, but in his little brain last night, he was like, "Why didn't I get to watch my show? I didn't get to watch my bedtime show."
Oh, that's cute. I mean, that's funny, but also, I think he has, like, RJ's mentality
Yeah,
because you were saying that, like, RJ thinks of all those things, and it
yeah.
sounds like Miles does too.
Yeah, they're 2 peas
Interesting.
in a pod. Alright, so, advice for potty training. So what's the first thing you tell someone if you had to give them advice on potty training?
I think honestly, the 3-day method is a good way to try to start,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And, like, you started there too, right?
I would've done it if it worked out for
Yeah,
us, yeah.
exactly, and
I'm
you
gonna
don't
do it for
know.
Dominic because he loves to, like, have his little
Think
junk out.
but I think even before the 3-day method, honestly, just not falling victim to the pressures of your friends, your mom groups, whatever. Everyone's different timing and listening to the signs, like, what has your child done to show you that they're ready to start potty training or to start getting out of diapers, right?
Mhm.
Because that's step 1, really. If they're fighting you, I mean, some babies always fight you over diaper changes, but if they've already shown interest in it, like taking them into the bathroom when mom and dad are going and stuff, and if they don't show any adverse reaction, then you start introducing them. And once they get comfortable with it, more or less, they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, it's true. I think my advice would be just follow your kid's lead.
Yeah.
I think my son would have been better at the 3-day method if we had started when he turned 2. So, like, now that I have another child that is going to be approaching 2 in the next little bit, I am gonna take some of my
Oh,
feedback that I got, and I'm gonna try him a bit earlier because I think when I started my first one, when I started Miles, he was too self-aware
mm,
and, like, too easily able to, like, communicate his needs, which isn't necessarily a bad thing,
yeah,
but I think he was just too self-aware of what privacy was and,
that's
like,
fair.
what, genitalia is and, like, that kind of stuff that's private and,
Yeah.
like, that's what we had taught our kids is that, like, that's a
See, but I think there's 2 things to that. One is that Dominic will likely
be ready sooner.
be ready sooner because of Miles and him being, influenced by his older brother, but also, if Dominic was your first or only child, then I wouldn't necessarily agree with him going earlier because I think, going
No, like,
back to
at 2.
okay, but yeah, because going back to my point, like, I think it's so valuable that Miles can now tell you things that, like, a
Yeah.
two-year-old can't
There's
sooner.
pros and cons to both, yeah.
Absolutely.
What surprised you the most about potty training?
Oh my god. So, this is, like, a stupid on me, my fault. But so, when I first did potty training, I was down here on the carpet.
Why?
I don't know. Again, I was by myself. It was, like, all the area to roam. We had a carpet upstairs, I think because at the time we had do you remember when we had the giant playpen in my
Yeah,
family room? So, I didn't wanna, like, get rid of all that and everything, but in hindsight, like, I literally took up my carpet in the family room. Now we don't have the playpen situation anymore, but that's way easier because I have my little Tinaco. I just mop everything up and, like, away we go.
yeah.
So that wasn't something that surprised me, but I was like, "Why the fuck did I do that?"
I think the most surprising thing about potty I mean, I had a lot of surprises because my journey was, like, very different and
Mhm.
longer than yours, but my 3-year-old is grossed out by poop, and to the point where he dry heaves and gags, and even one time, the daycare texted me and they were like, "Hey, just a heads up, because Miles will tell you when you get home, he threw up today because he had a poop accident in his underwear,
Oh,
and it
no.
got down on his legs, and he looked, and he saw it on his legs, and he threw up his lunch." She's like, "We're not sending him home. We watched the whole scenario. He ate his lunch. He was happy. He looked at the
Oh
poop down
my
his legs,
god.
and she's like, "I got poop on my arm." Because when they poop in
Yeah.
underwear, it's very different than when they poop in a diaper. I
You
don't
just
know.
burn the whole outfit.
I am always of the opinion that I tell daycare, if there is poop, oh, vomit for sure. Poop, like, in the underwear, I don't want those underwear
Yeah.
back. There's not a pair of underwear that anyone in my house owns that's special enough to not survive that. But yeah, he, like, puked up his lunch because he was so
Oh.
gross. And now to this day, if he has, like, he's fine if it's in the toilet, he wipes
Yeah,
his
yeah.
butt, it's good, but if something with poop touches, like, his leg or something, I'm like, "You poor kid, he's got, like, a really sensitive gag
Yeah.
reflex." So even now, when I change Dominic, because he's still in diapers, if he's pooped, I tell Mom, like, "Hey, I think I saw Santa outside." So he, like, runs to the door to see, because I know that if,
That's
like,
crazy.
he sees, and then I'm like, then I'll be just dealing with, like, throwing up
Yeah.
and stuff. So I was like, I don't want
Interesting.
that. So that was a surprising thing, is that, and it's very normal. Like, I asked the daycare, I was like, should I, like, have him checked out? And they're like, no, because a lot of people, it's
That's
very
normal.
normal reaction that he's just,
A
like,
lot of, like,
grossed out by
dads
it.
will say, like, "I can't change diapers because I have a
He's
pic."
gonna be one of those. So my daughter-in-law, if you're
No,
ever
you're gonna
listening to
teach
this,
your future daughter.
my future daughter-in-law, Miles will never change diapers, and I will be there for you.
You need to teach him out of that.
I know. I
When
try
he's,
and
like, a
expose it.
teenager, go to someone's baby's house, not the baby's house, you know what I mean? Go to someone's house who has a baby and get him to change a diaper.
Yeah, maybe when he's older, but
You gotta get him out of that.
what is in your potty training survival kit for outings? Have you made one yet, or
So no outings yet. Actually, well, we went around the block in his little race car that he got for his birthday and we like lined it with a puppy pad. And so I think for on Sunday when we have to go all the way downtown, we're timing it at nap time. That's kind of like my little hack. It's like we're gonna drive over nap where he would wear a diaper anyway, because
yeah,
he's still doing naps and nighttime in diapers
yeah.
until we get the hang of
And
everything.
he could be in like that for a while. Like I heard like some kids are in
That's what
that
I've
for like
heard. Yeah.
years for
Yeah.
nighttime.
The struggle for us is gonna be that Carter 9.9 times out of 10 poops at night, like, overnight, and
Mhm.
that's either what wakes him up in the morning or whatever. He probably poops in the morning, like, when he wakes up. So, the diapers at night are gonna be probably for
For
a
a bit
while
until
until we can really get a hold of, like, that feeling of needing to poop and waking up and going to the potty. I imagine that that'll take us a while, which is not the end of the world. If I have to do diapers overnight, it's
one of the things, like, as someone who does outings now is, like, when we were in that accident-prone phase, is sometimes pack way more than you need. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
the first time I went out, I packed, like, an extra pair of underwear and shorts, and sometimes what happens is they start peeing, and then they stop
Mhm.
because 'cause they're self-aware. Then they say, "I peed myself." So you
Yeah.
change them, and then they immediately have another accident really quickly. So that happened to us, like, quite a few times because then they'd be changed and then it kind of just would happen
Yeah.
again, and I'm like, "You just peed," and then I realized that it wasn't that wet, like, it wasn't a full
Yeah.
pee, so pack, like, 4 or 5
Oh,
pairs
yeah.
of everything. Also, we're, like, I don't know if we have any listeners outside of, like, our vicinity of Ontario, but plastic bags from grocery stores are
Mhm.
banned here. There is a hack. Walmart sells grocery bag, like our OG Metro
Okay.
plastic bags. Love the environment, but
Also,
also
Dollarama has that. Like,
what?
Dollarama has those
No,
bags.
they're not the same.
Okay,
They're
but
like
anyways, I have a ton of doggy poop bags from my old dog, and we used to use those for, like, dirty diapers and stuff when we would go out.
diapers, yeah, but like all the like if they pee in their clothes and stuff, I
You
guess you could
literally
put in
wrap
there.
it up in
Those bags though are very helpful that you can get like the
100%,
grocery
yeah.
bags. So I have a box of those in the car and I use them all the time because for some reason diapers, like if you have a dirty diaper in your car that's like contained, it doesn't smell as bad,
Mhm.
but like wet pee clothes smells gross.
Yeah,
So
not looking forward to
plastic
that.
something to wrap them up.
I think our biggest next thing will be going out and navigating public bathrooms.
Are you gonna bring a potty seat?
We're gonna bring a potty, but, like, that'll be the next challenge that we have to face is, like, A, will he go in a potty that's not his, right? And B, how the hell do I navigate elevating a child to pee in the potty?
So we've had a lot of success with using a urinal
Huh.
because we went to a public washroom. Well, I didn't go in obviously because I'm a woman, whatever. My husband went in to use a public washroom with him, his first or second time. We did not have the potty with
Mhm.
us. there was somebody going to the washroom and doing a long scenario in the only stall, so he was like, "I have to go." So my husband lifted him up and he peed in the urinal,
Huh.
and now that's, like, kind of his thing. Like, he's like, "Oh, I wanna pee in the stand-up toilet," and I was like, "Okay." I'm really okay with that because I've never peed in a urinal, but it seems like a cleaner option-ish.
Sure. I
I
think
think it's
same,
all
same.
same, same.
I don't know.
But a good starting point that someone gave me, my nail lady gave me this tip. Upper Canada Mall,
Oh, the little
they have the
potties.
little potties.
So does Von Mills. But, like, I'm thinking, like, if we're at a restaurant, like, what if we don't have access to a mini potty, right? Like,
I would bring a foldable potty seat. That's what we have.
mm,
You can buy like a foldable, I think it's made by Frida.
the thing is, I don't wanna touch that thing after it's been on a public potty.
I'm gonna send you this TikTok. So you put the liner. Now this is also if you have the luxury of time. Those like toilet seat liners.
Yeah.
Then you put the potty seat.
Not everyone has those toilets.
I mean,
You buy them.
no, I don't buy them. I just hope that they have them. But the
Nobody has
fold
those
up
things. If
one,
we were in the States, they'd have them.
the fold up little seat goes in a little bag, and then I
Mm.
guess you can just like Lysol it when you get into the car. We have brought the potty in the car.
Yeah,
Like when we came
that's what
to
we'll start
Carter's
with.
birthday,
Yeah.
like there's obviously no washrooms here, like at
Mhm.
the park. So we brought the potty, but then Miles wouldn't go if it was in the car. And he wouldn't go if it was like outside on the street either. So
Interesting. That's what I'm worried about, but guess we're about to find out. All in all, if anyone has any tips on how to combat public outings, well, potty training, we need them.
rapid
Okay.
fire, what's worse?
Potty training edition?
Not potty training edition,
Oh, okay.
just mom
General.
edition.
Got it.
Stepping on Lego or waking a sleeping baby.
Waking the sleeping baby.
Grocery shopping with toddlers or flying with toddlers.
Grocery shopping. Flying has been great.
Birthday party cleanup or Christmas morning cleanup.
Honestly, I guess birthday party, but they're never really that bad.
A
It's
toddler tantrum at Costco or a baby blowout at a wedding.
blow it at a wedding. What if it gets on my
I
dress?
know. Middle of the night wake up or a 5 a.m. wake up for the day.
5 a.m. wake ups, fucking no way.
Your child cutting their own hair or drawing on the walls.
Drawing on the walls, because if he cut his own hair, I'd just shave his head.
That's true, boys.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had girls, we would think differently.
But you could style it so it hides the cut.
I would say I'd rather drawing on the walls. I mean, unless they're using a permanent marker, can really come. I'm subscribed to Mr. Clean
Yeah,
erasers.
also
Endless laundry or endless dishes.
laundry.
I
Like,
hate dishes. I don't mind laundry.
oh, see, I'm the opposite.
We would be a great couple.
Yeah, we would wanna marry me?
Your child licking the grocery cart handle or the playground pool.
Grocery cart.
Yeah, because at least the playground, it gets watered out
Gets
with
rained
rain.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, last one. Potty training or sleep training?
Honestly, sleep training was a breeze. We didn't barely had to do it, so I would take that over anything.
Same, potty training was like a walk in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
All
Alright,
right,
that
that's
was
it for
fun.
this week.
Till next
Cheers.
time,
Stay messy.
stay messy, mamas.
We'll see you next time for more real talk about motherhood and parenting.